So I've been canning for several years now. I grew up with my parents always canning, and I've tried to take advantage of all their tips for their kind of canning experience as well as when they grew up. I do salsa. I try and do salsa every year. So this particular batch has been cooking down about 3 hours. I think that really makes a big difference in your salsa taste and the texture as well, because it's definitely a thicker texture. But for hot water bathing, because this is a recipe where you can hot water bath, because I have everything very acidic according to a very specific recipe. So I always follow your recipe guidelines, whether you have to do pressure cooking versus hot water bathing. But I have a pretty good system, I think, where I have my hot liquid, so this is going to be hot. I have my hot water bath going with the waters actually starting to get pretty hot already. I don't want it quite boiling yet, I just want it fairly hot. And then in the oven I have my jars that are hot, not extremely hot. I just have my oven set on warm. But when you get your jars out, you want them to be hot to the touch. So I need these to be in there a little bit longer, because you don't want to have your hot liquid go into a cold jar or it will break. Or the same thing, if you have a really hot jar, you don't want to put cold liquid into it. That's like the best tip I think I can give someone. And then I just have my lids back here. You don't want to boil them. They just recommend, I don't know if you even have to warm them anymore, but I was taught that you just want to bring them almost to a simmer. So I just kind of have them warm. And then I actually did simmer these lids just because I had them in my basement and I just wanted to clean them. So that's kind of my key, is you have your hot rings, you've got your warm or almost hot lids, you've got your hot salsa, you've got your hot water, and then you've got your hot jars. And you just don't want to have any drafts in your kitchen or anything where you're cooking. So you want to turn off your ceiling fans when you start getting ready to do the hot water bathing. Like I make sure that there's no open windows with breezes blowing. The same thing, you just don't want to go from a hot jar into a really cold room. You can definitely have your room and your AC going, but I just make sure that there's no fans on and my room is not extremely cold. And then I like to just keep things really clean. I clean off all my surfaces before I begin. This is where I'm going to be putting my hot jar. And then I like to keep just everything as clean as possible. So I have my measuring cup, of course, my funnel, and then I have everything just within reach. And I have just extra towels. Usually I just use my old towels because usually everything gets pretty tomatoey. And then make sure you're wearing long pants and shoes, just because it's very likely that you can have hot liquid spill out and you just want to protect. You just have to be careful from burns for sure. And I'll try and make another video as well with just the canning process as far as wiping. I think that's another great step. So I'll have more information coming soon.